Hi Moonbeams, it's Nikki T here at Moonchild Tarot with my July wrap up. I wanted to get this done early because I feel like I need to kick July out and get straight into August. I'm just, for whatever reason, I just need to yeet July out the window. So let's find out what decks I'm going to be taking over into August. So stick around, and without further ado, we will get started. So July has been a bit of an up and down month for me, mainly with the weather and everything like that. At the moment, up here in the north of England, it is really, really windy. We've had a lot of rain to the point where in even one day we had Morrison's flooded. So we've had both of the extremes. We've had wildfires up near me, and then with the heat and the heat wave, and then we've had flooding and all sorts and everything like that. We've got really, really bad wind at the moment. So yeah, I feel like I'm turning into the Weather Channel a little bit, but due to the heat, that's really not worked well with me. And for other reasons, I felt like this month I lost a bit of my mojo, and it wasn't my tarot mojo. I just felt a little bit flat. I felt a little bit, obviously Mercury's in the microwave at the moment, and we've got planets conjuncting and all like that. We've got a moon in Scorpio, I think. So yeah, it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. There's been ups, there's been downs, and I felt I've not been in my King of Wands energy for the past 2 weeks. But we will move on and move forth. So let's get into the decks that I've used over July. Apologies, I'm jumping back in time 2 months. Let's see the decks that I used in July. So the first one was my Ink and Inspiration tarot. I love this. It is a pip deck, or a pip. I say it's got a pip with messages. So rather than a pip with feelings, it's a pip with messages in it. I love the way that they've incorporated it all in. It's not traditional Marseille, but it does have clues in with it as well. I just really like it. It's a really straightforward reader. I used this for a reading for someone which was to do with career, and it was like bish bash bosh. It was really, really good. So I really, really like this. And when I just need a card and I need a straightforward answer, this will cut to the chase. I've not used it as much with my dailies. I think I've used it with some of my weeklies, but I've not tended to use this as much for my dailies. But I do still like it. It is a bit of a thicker cardstock deck, but it's good. So it's a good reader. I'm not getting rid of it. I think it's great. Like, it's got all the clues in and stuff, and I love how they've incorporated sun runes in there and everything. So it's a good general kind of day-to-day practical kind of deck, and I really, really like it. So yeah, you all know I love a good pip deck. So I will be I would possibly pick this up again further on in the year, just because it's a pip deck and I don't have as many pip decks. But I've kind of enjoyed it. It's been good. I still like this deck. I still like reading with it. I don't get the chance to do as many readings, but yeah, it's good. Now, the second deck, I only had 2 tarot decks this month, and my second one is my Goddess of Love. You can see I've edged it, I've trimmed it, I've done a butcher job and I trimmed it. And every time I hold it, I'm reminded about how like uniquely, imperfectly imperfect that this deck is. Now, I'm going to have to be very careful with this deck because of, as we said, chesticles. You know, we could call them dicicles. We could call them Bakewell tarts, you know, frontal Bakewell tarts. We've got to be careful about the frontal Bakewell tarts. There we go. I'll be putting some memes in probably to cover it, but I've really enjoyed this. I think at the beginning of I'm going to keep it on this because I know that I won't get yeeted out of TarotTube for this one. I came to July in a bit of a self-love slump and I had the nurturing, looked at that, worked on that, and this deck has really, really helped with that. I've used this much more than I've used the Infinite Inspiration. It might be salty about that, but I've used this quite a lot. So I've really, really enjoyed it. As much as I'm not really a collage deck person, I do like this for some reason. And now that I've made it undeniably my own, because nobody's going to want a hatchet job like this, but it's mine. It's you know, it's like me. It's unique. It's one of a kind. Well, this colour job is not really one of a kind, but the really dodgy cutting is a one of a kind. Anyway, I have loved using this. It's really, really helped me kind of get into that get back into the self-love, nurturing myself, moving through that. So I've really, really enjoyed it. Oh, I can show that one. I'm just seeing what I can show. So yeah, so this has been a great deck. I am going to be putting this back, but whenever I need to kind of go to the inner self-love, I will give this deck, definitely I will pick this deck up because I feel like this nurtures that kind of side of me that wants to that side of me that needs that like self-love and nurturing. I've struggled with that. Again, going on to the naughty bits, it's got a lot of naughty bits, and it does change the suits, but I kind of think I'm mooning you. I think, what is it? Witch, maiden, witch, queen, crone. I can kind of work that out, that is page, knight, queen, king type thing. So that doesn't really make that much of a difference with me in terms of you know, reading it. But yeah, so I've loved using this deck. It has really got me through this like self-love slump. I feel like I've been eternally, this month has been sponsored by the 10 of Swords. I feel very much like I've been beaten to the ground and pinned by some of my own swords of my own making. But you know, we move on, we get on. And that's why I kind of possibly want to yeet July out of the window, because July has been just so hectic. The kids are now off. So I've got the kids full time for 6 weeks. Yeah, the first day in, they already had me shouting at them and they wind me up. Yesterday, I went to my parents, and the minute they weren't on their, you know, phones, they were bickering with each other. And I'm just like, oh my Lord, you know, that is why sometimes them going off into their own rooms and having their own privacy is bliss for me, because they're not bickering with each other, because they are like, my kids are like chalk and cheese. So yeah, so I have really enjoyed using the Goddess of Love. I can't show too much because it's got, you know, Lady Bakewell tarts on it. and, you know, lady gardens and stuff like that. So we will hold off from that. Speaking of which, another deck that I'm going to have to be very, very careful what I show. This month seems to be sponsored by, like, the Rudy Bits month, isn't it? Because I think 3 out of my 4 decks are like not for tarot tube, you know what I mean? And I'm not bothered about, you know, I'm not bothered about it, but YouTube seems to be bothered about it. I know lots of people are having videos being taken down left, right and centre. I'd just rather put some emojis in the edit and stuff because I don't mind editing. But this is my Fairy Oracle by Brian Froud, and I am going to be carrying this one over. So when I was looking at what Oracle, because I pick usually 3 tarot, 2 oracle. When I was thinking about what oracles I'm going to take over, I was like, I'm not done with this. I still want to engage in the fairy energy. I'm still really enjoying it. I've got the book on my desk. I can just grab it. Yes, again, it's not made for, yeah. My brain keeps misfiring today, probably because I did a big drive yesterday. I don't usually drive, and I went to my parents live about an hour away, so it was an hour away on the motorway. And if you know British roads, if you know motorways, they are like the highway to hell, you know. And there was some roadworks and speed limits and lane closures and stuff like that. So if anybody's had the joy of driving down the M60 and the M62, you will be able to acknowledge why my brain is absolutely fried today. So yeah, so I did that. It was lovely. I got very well fed, as I always do when I go to my mum's. But yeah, it's just I had to have a caffeine tablet to get me on the way up, kind of to keep the energy kind of flowing. So yeah, I'm not done with this. I think I need to keep going with this kind of fairy energy. It's very fae. Now that it's getting a little bit cooler, I'm going to be able to go out more. I'm thinking of, we've got some yarrow that's growing quite a lot. There's quite a lot of yarrow growing on our our common, because they've left some of the grass to grow long for the wildlife, and we've had lots of yarrow grow. So I'm gonna hopefully get some of that so we can use it in the coming months. But I need to go and take my snippers there just across the road to get it. But I've you know, if they allow me, because if they, you know, if I ask and they say, you know, if the fairies in the universe say no, I'm not taking it. But yeah, so I'm loving this for the like fae energy. And yeah, if I have to skip through, oh yeah, they're the ones. I think I'd marked it. I think these are okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be carrying this one on throughout August, because I just feel like it does fit in with that kind of August, you know, September, going into September. I might even carry it on until September. So this is the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. It's still available. I know he's got another oracle that, oh my God, I would love to be able to try and get, but we will see. We will see. I will be like Wayne's World, and I will, you know, oh yes, it will come. Oh yes, it will come. Now, the last oracle deck that I used for July, and I'm knocking everything over at the side here, was the Tell Me You Love Me oracle. I still love, I don't use this kind of for its purpose, which is for like love readings, relationship readings. It is really good for relationship readings. It's very intuitive. I don't really use or look at the guidebook. I tend to just read the expressions and the the keywords and everything. But I just love this artwork. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of historical kind of older decks. And I'm not a fan of like found art decks. But because of the way this has been like contemporized, it's been modernized, I like it. I like this kind of collage, the way that they've done it, and I've really enjoyed this. This has really been a good deck to use, so I've really enjoyed it. It is going away for back in its bag for now, but I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed the messages it's given. I tend to just pull an oracle card. I mean, look at him. It looks like he means business. Like, it's the pictures are very, very expressive, and I've enjoyed reading with this deck. Again, I have to be careful of what I show, because not all of the, I think when we get past there, not all of the images are YouTube friendly. Oh, it's turning into a rant. But so this is the Tell Me You Love Me oracle. I love it. I've really enjoyed it. It's been helped with the, see, I've messed them all up now. I've got them all the wrong way round and everything. It's been great paired with the Goddess of Love tarot. So as you can see, it's kind of worked. Oh, we can't have that. We can't have that. Yeah, it works. It works quite well. I think there's a lot there, but it does kind of work as a pairing. Not that I kind of pair my decks really aesthetically. I just tend to use it based on the energy there. So they were the decks that I used over July. I can't think of the date now. I can't even remember what month it is. So let's get into my planner and what I've been getting up to with that. This month I started with a new system. I was using a diary, and it had like a month to view, and it had a page a day, and it wasn't working. I didn't have enough room to do what I wanted, and then I had too much room for other things. So I got myself a dot journal. This is a origami. I got this on when it was on offer, and I've got my card of the year there. I've got my cards of the month here, and as you can see, it's messy. I made mistakes. I don't care. And then I just drew out a grid, and I've got this is my month to view. I haven't highlighted these yet because it is, the ink kind of needs a bit of time to set before it kind of runs. I've not done my card for today because as I'm filming this is the 27th, and I need to do my card for the week. But I'm kind of, I'm well and truly wanting to yeet July into existence. So this is why I'm doing this now. So these are the decks I've used. So I've used the Goddess of Love, the Ink and Inspiration, the Tell Me You Love Me, the Fairies. I've also used the Tarot of Sweet Twilight, the Shadows We Cast, and you've seen them, I think, back on last month's channel. I showed them there. I've also used my Vampires Tarot, which Julia kindly gifted to me, and I've used this for some quite deep readings. That's I said it was a bit of a Ten of Swords month. I don't know where's this is. I've messed this up now because I've got the cards I've got the cards there. So I've used this for a couple of readings, and they were, a little bit needing to dig into the shadow, and I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed pulling from this deck. It's very expressive. It's not kind of hugely dark, but it does tell you what, it's a bit like a Queen of Swords. It does tell you what you need to know, but it's not very, I wouldn't say it's really overly blunt. It tells you what you need to know, and it's very direct. So I've enjoyed using that. I've also used the Shadow of Darkness Oracle. So I've used the Shadows We Cast. I've used this for my moon readings. So I think every month I'm going to, until I kind of feel like I don't want to, I'm going to use this for new moon and full moon reads when I feel like it, because I don't all the time do new moon and full moon readings, but if I remember and if it's around that time, I will do one. I've thought this was really good. I've enjoyed using this for other people. I think it really sings. It does really sing for me, but I think I really enjoy reading for other people with this deck. And I've really kind of enjoyed it. So that is the Shadows We Cast. It's been all over TarotTube. Everyone's seen it. And then with this Vampires Tarot, I linked this with the Shadow of Darkness Oracle. This is Syrian Shadow. My son got it me for Mother's Day. You can kind of tell that my son is how my son's mind works when he's got a list of tarot and oracle decks and lots of them are bright and pretty, and he picks this one. You know, he's a boy with my own kind of gothic dark heart, and I've really I enjoyed this. I've got to say, I thought this was going to be a lot scarier of a deck than I thought it would be. But it's not. It's really balanced. Like, there are cards where, you know, I mean, it says, like, rise up, elevate, wounded. Like, it's got hard blocked. It's got negative cards, but it's also got positive cards. It's, you know, impaled, awareness, introspection. The guidebook reads really, really well. So I've really enjoyed, and I'm going to be using this probably in September or October. I'm gonna really spend some time with it, and I think this is quite a balanced deck, even though it looks scary, and it kind of appeases my you know, I love listening to Iron Maiden and stuff like that, so it kind of appeals, the artwork appeals in that way. Like, if you know Iron Maiden, they've got a character called Eddie, and he's like a little bit of a creature. Yeah, I kind of like it, but it's not overly negative. It's got a good balance, and it's quite uplifting and quite positive. I was quite surprised by it. I wasn't going to get the Earthbone Oracle because I've got this, and now I'm thinking I might do, because I do really like this as an oracle. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see how it goes. And if I really enjoy this, I might buy his Bone Stone and Earth Flesh. Not Bones. Oh, no. Brain is gone. Not Bone Stone and Earth Flesh. The Earth and Bone Tarot. No, Earth and Bone Oracle. You can see my brain is absolutely like, yeah, like a fried egg today. Yeah, I've had a look at his haunted cottage, and there's something about the artwork that feels a bit like it doesn't grab me, if you know what I mean. There's something uneasy about, there's something with the artwork that I can't quite put my finger on, but it's not for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I've used quite a few decks. I've had, my card of the month was the Seven of Swords. I do my weekly here, my weekly reading, and as you can see, I've been writing quite a bit on that. I have my new moon read there, and then I do my week like this, and I don't limit myself to, I know I've kind of fitted, and I'm going to try and kind of hide it. I know I fitted the week on a page, but if I need more room, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use more room than a week to view, but I tend to just write a little paragraph and then move on. I did a different reading that was with my vampires one. So now, after I finish the month, I'm going to draw out August, and that will then carry on. So that's the way it is working. As you can see, I like a bit of colour. I like a bit of highlight. You know, I like highlighting it because I am a visual person. I don't necessarily, it's not all decorated lovely or anything like that, but I've kind of enjoyed just putting the highlights in and making it colourful and pretty there. But I've enjoyed kind of working my thoughts around with this new system. And if I don't want to write, if I don't want to tarot, I can just leave the book. See, that's the great thing about having a book like this, is as much as it can be daunting with an empty page, you don't have to write a ton. You could, if you wanted for 1 week, you could write 2 sentences and then do the next week. And you could leave it. Like if I left this and then came back to it in September, I could then start with September and I could just see that, oh, August, I didn't write anything. So I think I much prefer this system than the old system that I had. And I got a nice little, you know, I can't write with fountain pens. I end up with ink all over my hands. I got this nice Sharpie gel pen. I got some nice like coloured pens and treated myself there. So next we are going to move into the decks I am using for August. Had to think then. So I've got my 3 tarot decks that I'm going to be using in August. You might, if you've watched previous videos, you might be able to know maybe what that one is, maybe what that one is, probably not this one. This needs a new bag because this wool is not very good and I'm not very happy with this bag. So when I get like a Halloweeny purpley bag, well, when I get some Halloween purpley wool, I will redo the bag and then, you know, get rid of this. So the first deck that I am going to be using, I'm going to pick this one because this is the most like August coded deck. This is, you can see, it is the Llewellyn Tarot. And, you know, in time for the 25th, is it 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary release, I thought I would bring this out. This is very much an August, September deck. The colours, you can really feel it. Now, this feels like at the moment, you know, that chill, that feels like how we've got the moment. I really love this deck. I love reading with it. It's just beautifully painted. It's got the weather within it really speaks to me. You know, the background, I can get so much from just looking at the background of the picture, and it gives me a gauge of the temperature, the feeling, the atmosphere. It's just such an emotive deck. I am going to get the guidebook and put it out. So I'm going to try and spend a little bit of time, you know, reading it, because I did start, when I got this deck originally, I did start reading it and then I gave up a bit because I struggle with guidebooks. So I'm going to dip in where I can and read with it. But I remember reading the story about this, where the guy like literally saw the woman of his dreams for 20 years and went and found her, and she had a similar thing, and it's a beautiful love story. And I remember the kind of tales that were in it. So I do love this deck. And the oracle I'm going to pair it with, I'm going to definitely pair an oracle with this one. So I have one, and that is my Avalon Magic. I talked about this in my oracle decks, would I rebuy? And I said I wouldn't rebuy this because I don't use it as much. I don't use it enough. So I am going to hopefully pair this with this for my weekly reading, and I can do I can do a message from the Avalon Magic, just getting it, a fairy card, and my tarot with the Llewellyn, sorry, not the Celtic tarot, the Llewellyn tarot. So I think they all kind of go well. You've got the statement at the back, and then you've got the image there. Yeah, that feels a little bit like me caught in the mental headspace at the moment. So I'm gonna be using that pairing this month. So they are going into the bag for now. I've already said I'm going to be using my Fairies Oracle, so that's going to be going back down on the desk, and I'm going to be keeping it. I do keep my tarot, so I move this back usually. This is all right the way back, and I keep my tarot kind of stacked here. And I'm struggling a bit with the space of it all. I can only usually fit 4 decks there, if I'm lucky. So I'm thinking of getting a box that I could have here, and I could put the deck standing up in. And then I can move it when I need to. But this is carrying forward into August. Now, the next one, I've got another deck pairing. So I've got the Dark Magic Oracle, which I recently purchased. And I purchased this secondhand to go with this deck. Now, I wasn't ordinarily going to work with this deck this month, but I was so desperate to work with the Dark Magic Oracle and kind of get to know it that I thought, right, I will use it with this one because they go really well. So this is my Somnia, and so as you can see, I tried to, the blue's not the best match, but it works. I know what it is. I've just yeeted the guidebook. As you can see, it's been quite used because I've scuffed up the gilding, but I think this is gonna work really well with, and I'm not that type of person that usually will be like deck pairings based on aesthetics. I tend to deck pair in terms of energy, but I mean, like Knight of Swords and Empower, that I'm not usually a person that does this. Like, oh, look at that. 10 of Wands and then reveal. That really, like, because they're facing she's facing towards it. And yeah, you could really, really get to grips with this. Cocoon and 5 of Swords. Definitely when I've had a 5 of Swords moment, I definitely want to cocoon away and not talk to anyone. Rescuing the Ace of Coins. Yeah, I feel like these are going to talk to each other quite well. And yeah, I'm gonna definitely use it. I think as we could still be in the, I tend to struggle with the summer. In that I love it. I love the spring and I love it, but by August I'm done with it. And I think that's reflected in the decks that I'm picking. Like I'm now going to move towards it getting slightly darker. I'm noticing it, the nights are getting darker. We're getting kind of, even though it's bright and everything, we're getting a bit more windy, a bit more chilly, everything like that. Look, oh, with that Knight of Cups and Strength. Yeah, this is going to really, really work well together. So I'm so excited. I do need to cleanse this deck because I smoke cleanse all of my new decks when I get them. And I haven't, my clicker, I don't know whether I have a clicker here. And as you can see, the clicker is not clickering. So Mr. T needs to fill my clicker up in order for me to be able to light some candles and incense. But it's not been happening. So I need to get that sorted. And I've just not felt in the mood to light candles and incense and everything like that. As I said, that's kind of more of a when it goes towards autumn, winter kind of thing, when it's a bit darker. So yeah, I think these two are going to speak to each other very, very nicely. And I'm going to enjoy working with them. You can see I'm all of a bit of a, I'm a bit 6s and 7s today. I'm a bit higgledy-piggledy. My brain is the literal definition of higgledy-piggledy today. So the Somnia is going to be going out on my desk to be used with the Dark Magic Oracle. Now the last one is one that I'm bringing out because I don't use it. I haven't used it a lot, and I should use it because I do really like this deck. And I think, again, this is that liminal space between summer and autumn. It's got kind of, it could lean into like the summer vibes, it could lean into autumn vibes, it could also be spring-like. It's not really a winter deck, I wouldn't say. This is the Agatha All Along Oracle, not Oracle, Tarot. And I really like this. I enjoyed the show. I know, you know, as you know, I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm going to see Spider-Man on, when's this coming out? On Tuesday. I will have seen Spider-Man on the Wednesday. We got tickets for the first available showing that we could go to because I don't want spoilers, and I know the minute I go on my phone, Google is going to give me a message telling me spoilers about the film. There's a big reveal going to be happening, and I'm going to be really, really annoyed, and you're going to see Hulk Nikki. I'm going to smash everything if it doesn't work out the way I want it to work out, because I've spent about a year, if not a year, 6 months, thinking that, oh, they might be doing this, they might be going the way of bringing one of my favourite characters in. Anyway, I'm getting all Marvel geekiness. I just love this. It's one of those pop culture decks that really knows the source material. Like, even I've watched the show, and I know the show, and I know kind of the lore with it. Even I was like, wow, they've really thought about this. Unlike the Wicked Tarot, which I think I'm going to sell. If anybody wants the Wicked Tarot, you know, let me know. Because that really didn't, I think that was really hit and miss with the source material. And I think the person who wrote the guidebook or instructed the artwork didn't know the source material very well. I think this is so much better. It pays homage to the original Rider-Waite-Smith as well. It's quite Rider-Waite-Smith, but not, you can read it. With some cards, it's Rider-Waite-Smith. With some cards, it goes slightly differently. I just really, really like it. I really, really like it. I love the artwork. I mean, that for the Nine of Pentacles, I just love that. Like the dandelion, and how dandelions can spread their abundance everywhere and go and, you know, spread their seeds everywhere. And they're very kind of, that joy is infectious. I love that definition of it. And I just love how it's very Rider-Waite-Smith without being Rider-Waite-Smith, and I do really, really enjoy it. So I'm going to be using this month, and I think I might start watching the show again just to remind myself of, I think that's going to be, rather than reading the guide, well, I might read the guidebook, but, you know, I might watch the show in anticipation for it coming into spooky season there. So I'm gonna enjoy working with this, and I think this will work well with the dark magic as well, as much as it's got that kind of magic-y kind of vibe. Oh, that was the one I was thinking. I was thinking about the Magic of You. I might pair this with the Magic of You. I don't quite know yet. I have it here. I need to grab it. So I might pair, let's see, just let's off the cuff see if this kind of works. But I've got no room to kind of keep it, so the Ace of Pentacles with transform the way you see. Ooh, yeah, I think this will work together. The Moon and detox, cleanse and restore yourself. Yeah, I think these will chat quite happily together. I was thinking that the Blood Moon Tarot would go really well with this, and I know it will go really well, but again, it's funds and stuff. So I think that these two will have a very happy chat together. So I think when I use this, I'm gonna be pairing it with this Oracle and enjoying it there. Yeah, I do like how this pairs. It doesn't visually, like, it's not visually aesthetically pairing, but I think the energy, wiggle, 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 sorry, digression into a very, very naughty song of the 90s. Yeah, so I think these will talk to each other quite well. Liberation and the Two of Cups. Ooh, it might have a bit of a Queen of Swords about this pairing. Yeah, it might be a bit of a Blunt Betty, this kind of pairing, because, ooh, if you get that in a reading. Yeah, the Star and Let Love Grow. Yeah, I think it's got a balance to it. I think it works well. Yeah. Tower and Maximus. How can you feed others when your own table is empty? If that is not an epitome of the Tower, like, how can you build other people's towers when your tower is crashed to the ground? Like, yes, loving it. I'm loving it like that. Yeah. Yeah, so we're descending into chaos and madness with Nikki. I am loving this combination. So I will be putting these two together. I will be using these two together as a pair, and I will see how that takes us. The last deck is a bit of a bonus one because I am going to be away throughout part of August. I'm not telling you when because it's need to know. So I'm going to be packing this Pocket Wild Unknown into my handbag. I am going to hopefully use this for, I might take it to the beach and do a reading on the beach. I might kind of just use it for my daily pulls. I think I'll probably do my daily pull. I might skip my week. I'll see how I am. I'll do my daily pulls and I'll note it on my phone. I'm not going to take my big diary on holiday with me because no, anybody got time for that. But I'm going to take this and I will take pictures. I will note it in my phone and then I will, it's all weirdly upside down. No, that's upside down. It's really good cardstock. I really like it. It just feels nice. And yeah, I think it's got that fierce like wilderness energy. I'm not very well prepared, but you know what I mean. If you can't like me at my worst, you can't have me at my best. So yeah, if you don't mind the chaos goblin that is me in my pure chaos of not being ready and organized and just rambling and waffling, then you know you won't be able to appreciate the glory of when I am more not mentally aware, that sounds weird, when I'm at my best. Yeah, but I love this. I do love this card. It's just it's just, it just tickles my fancy. It just tickles my fancy. I like it. And yeah, so I'm going to be taking this away. This is going on tour with me. It's going on holiday. And I am going to go to the sea, and I'm going to put my feet in the sea. I'm going to ground myself. I'm going to buy some crystals because I can. I'm going to eat lots of ice cream, preferably black ice cream. So I'm gonna go to Whitby, and I'm gonna get some black ice cream with black sherbet on. And I don't care if it's full of E numbers. I'm doing it for the pure kind of dark-heartedness of me. I might climb up the stairs and go back to, if you know Whitby, because I'm going around that area, I might climb up the 1001 steps to go up to I was going to say Diagon Alley. No, we're going to York. We're actually going to York first. We're going to go to York. We'll go to Diagon Alley. We'll go to the Minster. We'll go and visit the Minster and see if he's in. Well, I won't be buying any I won't be queuing up to buy any ghosts or anything like that, because I don't like queuing. I don't like crowds at the best of times. So we're going on a day. It's not the weekend, thankfully, but hopefully it'll be a bit peaceful. It probably won't be. But yeah, we're going to York. I might go up the steps at Whitby and go to the Dracula shop just to have a look, just to kind of touch base with, the Dracula castle, as you do. We're going to go geocaching. If you might have kids and you might know what that is. We're going to go spend our holiday trying to find some geocaches. My son likes geocaching. And yeah, so we're going to have a fun time at the Yorkshire Sea. I'm going to buy some crystals. I'm going to, appreciate all things spooky, and yeah, just have fun and enjoy the cheesiness of a caravan holiday in Great Britain. You know what I mean? I might even play a game of bingo, even though I hate bingo because I played it once. Well, I've played it a couple of times, and I played bingo with my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law, bless her, she was a professional bingo player. She knew what she was doing, and she was like so quick, and I was struggling so much and wouldn't shout when I won, and I nearly lost my winnings, and she got very annoyed. But after that, I've been bingo before, and it's so quick. They do it so quickly, and I can't find it. I'm not cut out for bingo. Anyway, I might edit that a bit out. I don't know. Anyway, this is the deck that's going on holiday with me. It's going in my bag in this nice little box. If they did, they should do oracles in a tin as well. I mean, I could take, where is it? I could take the Avalon Magic with me, but can I be bothered? I don't know. I will take my pocket Wild Unknown with me, and I will go on my merry way. Anyway, I've talked far too long. This has been the month that needed to be yeeted out the window because of various things about being hot, about losing my mojo, everything like that. If you've stayed till this point, drop us, I don't know, drop us a Dracula emoji, or something to do with Harry Potter or wizards and stuff, because I'm going to York, where obviously Diagon Alley was filmed. It's based on, well, it wasn't filmed at York, it's based on the York Shambles. Or drop me a Dracula emoji, and in the comments, if you want to subscribe, by all means, do that. It all helps. It helps feed the monster that is YouTube, and gets me a little further out of the talking to myself in a room on my own. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like, I know Teresa at Coffee and Tarot with Mama T, said about feeling like sometimes you're talking into the void of YouTube and stuff. So it'll make me feel a little less like I'm talking into the void, but I've waffled far enough. Anyway, I will get going. Thank you for sticking with me this month and seeing my month in review, and I will see you again for a next video. And one last thing for me to say is to take care, my beautiful moonbeams. Bye for now.